Hello student, welcome to the class. Today I will be discussing about force and pressure, that is the chapter number 8. So the name of the chapter number 8, the name of the chapter is force and pressure. So force and pressure, this both we use in every day of our life, okay. So force means is a pull or push, okay. So anything which we pull or any materials which we push, that is a force, okay. Suppose we want to open a door, okay. So to open a door you have to push or pull, that is a force, okay. So force for moving something, okay, like kicking a football, that is we are applying a force, okay. So we are forcing, we are giving a push force, okay, that makes the football to move, okay. So these are all the force everyday life we are applying, okay. So moving, all these things are because of the force. What a force does, so force, what do the force do, okay, as we have just discussed. So now whatever we have discussed now, the pull and push are said to be as force. We apply a force when we want to make something move. We use force to do many other things besides, okay. So many situations are there in that we use force to move something. In short, I can say to move something from one position to another position, one place to another place, we apply force to move, okay. So we apply a force for opening door, for kicking football, or you can say for dragging some bags, okay. So all these things are force, through a force we are doing, okay. So force causes movement. So from pull and push itself we can understand. For opening the door, from opening the door, what happens, that door moves from one position to another, that door is moving, okay. We are applying a push or a pull force. So force causes movement. This is one of the one of the cause, okay. When you kick a ball lying on the ground, you apply force to make it move. Similarly, you apply force to push a chair back or pull out a book from a shelf or lift something from the floor. To lifting something from the floor, we apply force, okay. And for moving something, that is also a force. For dragging something, that is also a force, okay. So I am bringing this book towards me, that is a force. I am applying a force to bring it, okay, in front side, okay. So I am dragging it, okay. I am applying my force to push this book, okay. So the pull and push, and this, because of the pull and push, whatever the force we are applying, whether it may be a pull or whether it may be a push, okay, because of that force, the materials, the things, it is moving from one position to another position, okay. That is the reason force causes movement, okay. If you kick a ball on the ground, okay, that will move from here. If you kick the ball here, the ball will go on the other side, okay. So that causes, force causes the things to move, okay. Now in each of this example you may have something at rest. By applying a force, you can think of many other everyday situation in which we apply a force to make a body at rest start moving. In general, a body at rest starts moving only when a force is applied, okay. If something is in a static position, that is in a rest position without moving, okay, so that can be moved applying force. Then force changes speed, okay. So how forcefully you are kicking the ball, okay. If you are kicking the ball very slowly, what happens, the ball will move a little area only, okay. So if you apply a heavy force to kick the ball will move to a distant, okay. It will take a longer distance to move, okay. That is why force changes speed also, okay. When your friend is on a swing and you give the swing a push in the direction in which it is moving, the swinging moves faster. If you pull the swing back, it either moves slowly or comes to rest. What you do in either case is to apply a force or change the speed of moving object. So when your friend is sitting on a swing, at the time what happens, you push the swing. Okay, so push the swing. If you push the swing, what happens? The swing will move very fastly, okay, forward. Okay, so again, to bring in a rest position, you use a force to pull it. Okay, so the force changes the speed of the object. Okay, you can think of other everyday situation in which we apply force to change the speed of the moving body. You can take the examples like when you catch a ball, you apply force to make the moving ball to come to rest. Okay, so when you catch, okay, cricket ball, when you go for playing cricket, you catch the ball, right? So at that time you are applying a force to catch the ball. Okay, that ball, moving ball, will come on a rest position. Okay, so but you're applying your hand, you're applying, forcing your hand to catch it up. Okay, so the moving body comes in a rest, because of the force only. Okay, so a moving body can speed up because of the force, and moving body can be kept in a static position because of the force. That is why we say that force changes the speed of the object. Now force changes direction of motion. Okay, so the force can change the direction of a moving body. Okay, so example like a cricket, you are playing in a cricket on the field. Okay, so a bowler is bowling you, he or she is applying his or her force to ball. Okay, so the ball, at the time what happens, you hit. Okay, he or she is applying, when he or she is bowling. Okay, the cricketers, you can say that cricketers, when they are bowling, at that time what happens, they apply a force, okay, to an object to move forward. Okay, at that time what the batsman will do, they apply the batsman will apply his force, pressure with a bat. Okay, at that time what happens, the moving ball hits the bat and the bat hits the ball. At that time the ball, the direction of the ball will change into other direction. Okay, that is why we say force changes the moving body. That means force changes the moving objects directions, okay, in many ways. When a batsman hits a straight drive and the bowler manages to deflect it towards the stump at the non-strikers, and the bowler applies force to change the direction of the motion of the ball. Similarly, when a goalkeeper, not only in the field of cricket, in the goalkeepers also punches a ball away from the goal. Okay, so the goalkeeper punches the ball. Goalkeeper, like you can see in the football matches. Okay, the goalkeeper, they'll be having a net. Okay, football means you have to, how many goals you are putting, no, according to that only you win. Okay, so the goalkeeper, what you do, when the footballer kick the football, okay, very forcefully, the goalkeeper, what they do, the goalkeeper doesn't allow the football to come inside the net. Okay, so he is, by applying force, he is changing the direction of the football. Okay, the footballer are kicking the footballer is kicking the football to give a goal. Okay, and the goalkeeper is catching the football, not to give it a goal. Okay, not to enter the ball into, and not to enter the football into the net. Okay, so this also change the direction. So cricket, footballer, goalkeeper also prevents. Okay, now the tennis player returns to serve. Tennis player, badminton, in the, you have seen in the badminton, that is a shuttlecock. Okay, from one direction to other direction it is moving. We are applying a force. Okay, we are applying a force with the help of a racket. Okay, in a badminton, at that time what happens, the cork comes and hits the racket and it goes to the other position. Okay, it is a moving object, changes its direction according to the whatever the force we are applying. Okay, if you hit very slightly to the cork, it will move a slight distance. Okay, if you hit very forcefully, at that time what happens, it will go very far away. Okay, so the moving objects direction can be changed with the help of a force. Force changes shapes and sizes. The shapes and the sizes of the force can also be changed. Like if you take a pepper, piece of pepper, and you crumble it. Okay, so at the time what happens, the pepper gets squeezed in a small. Okay, in a small it will come. If you take a piece of paper, A4 sheet you take. Okay, A4 sheet if you take and you crumble it. Okay, at that time what happens, it will come inside your hand itself. It will come inside your fist itself. Okay, so squeeze a sponge. When you squeeze the sponge, at the time what you see, the size of the sponge becomes smaller comparatively earlier one. Okay, comparatively the fresh sponge. Folding of cloths. Okay, so when you fold the cloth, you are applying some force to fold it. Okay, the force changes the size and shape of the object also. Now, types of forces. So far we have discussed the kind of forces that we apply for the execution of our own muscles. Okay, so with the execution, with the help of our own muscles only, so far we have seen, like crumbling the paper, folding the, folding this one, folding cloth. We are applying our muscular power, we are applying our muscular, energy. Okay, so muscle energy we are using by touching. Okay, so by touching only we are doing all the things. Kicking the football, catching cricket ball, all these things are done by touching only. Okay, so without a touch, can you catch the ball? No, it is impossible to catch. When you want to catch ball, then obviously you should touch the ball. Okay, it should come inside your hand. Okay, so these are said to be as muscle. Okay, so muscles, with the evolution of our own muscles, with the help of our own muscles, that's by touching only. Loosely speaking, we can call it as muscular force. This kind of forces are said to be as muscular force. Okay, since we are using our muscles to do all these things, all the works. Okay, so this type of force can act only when it is in contact with a body. You cannot push a table along the floor unless your hands are in contact with it. For example, this is the reason why this type of force is called a contact force. You cannot push or pull a chair. Okay, so you cannot, suppose I am taking this pen. Okay, so holding this pen. Okay, so without without a force, without using my without using my hand, I cannot pick it up. Okay, so where the muscular muscles are used, okay, by touching, all the forces are said to be as muscular force. Okay, muscles has been used, our body muscles has been used. Okay, so there are some forces which can act on a body from a distance. There are also some forces, okay, which acts from a distance. Example, you can say magnet. Okay, so magnet need not go near to the iron to get attracted, okay, to get attached with it. Okay, if the magnet is here and if I keep the iron here, the iron automatically will, the needle automatically will come and attached with the magnet. Okay, so that is the untouched one. Okay, from the distance, the force is acting, from distant, So let us study a very important concept for the frictional force. Okay, force are said to be as non-contact force, which doesn't have any contact with the object. Okay, the force which is applied from far away to do the works. Okay, so that works, type of force are said to be non-contact force. And the force which by using the muscular force, okay, by using of touch, okay, with our hand or muscles, okay, whatever work we do by applying force, that is said to be as contact force. Okay, now frictional force. Force required to stop the movement of a body in motion. So we need a force, okay, so to stop, okay, so stop the movement of a body. As we are catching the ball gets dropped in our, on our hand. Okay, so that what happens, that is a frictional force. The force needs, okay, if we want to bring some moving objects in a rest position, we use force. Okay, then why does the swing not continue to move forever once you have given it a push? And why does a ball not roll endlessly once you have kicked it, even if no force is applied to stop it? Okay, this is because when one body moves over another, frictional force acts in a direction opposite to that of the motion. Okay, so have you ever thought that if you are moving a swing, okay, if you are pushing the swing, why does it doesn't continuously swing? The swing is not continuously swinging. Okay, what is the reason of it? Okay, have you ever thought? Not only that, when you kick the ball also, why the ball is not at a certain distance? Okay, after going a certain distance, at that time what happens? The football or a ball which you have kicked, okay, it will stop. It will become, the object will become in a rest position. Okay, why it is getting in a rest position? Okay, why it is not moving continuously? Since you have used a force. Okay, why it is not? Have you ever thought? This is because of the frictional force. Okay, some forces are acting to the opposite directions. Okay, if I am throwing a ball, okay, if I am throwing something from here to here to a certain distance, if I am swinging a swing, okay, so after a 2 or 4 swings, the swing will come into a rest position. Because why it is coming in rest position? Because of the action of the friction. Okay, so some forces are of in opposite directions. That kind kind of forces, the forces which is acting on the opposite direction, that kind of force to stop the motion of another object, that kind of forces are said to be a frictional force. Okay, so frictional force always oppose motion, trying to stop the movement of the surface over another. However, how great the frictional force is depends on the nature of the two surface in contact. This will become clear. So this will become clear. I will tell how it gets. Okay, so here what happens, frictional force opposing the motion of the object. Okay, so when you are pushing something, okay, it is going forward, and on the opposite direction the frictional force is acting on, okay, to make the motion of an object to stop in a certain position. Okay, so that is said to be always opposes, frictions always opposes the movement of an object. Okay, so how you can find the frictional force, the speed of a frictional force depends on the surface. Okay, the plane surface, have you ever seen in a plane surface, if you throw something it will roll over. Okay, so if you take example, you can take tiles also at your home. Tiles, okay, so tiles floor, it is a very smooth, it is a very plain and shiny crystals. Okay, what you do at that time, if you throw something, okay, a ball, if you throw means very fastly it will move and go, because the surface is very smooth. Okay, and the same time, if you push that ball on the carpet, will that ball moves so speedily? No, it will not move to very speedily. Okay, so this proves that smooth surface have speed. Okay, frictional forces less. In a smooth surface frictional force will be less, and in a rough surface frictional force will be more. Okay, even the smoothest surface has tiny bumps and holes all over. When two surfaces move over each other, the bumps and the holes on the both get each others away. This is what causes friction. Obviously, the smoother surface, the lesser is the frictional force. Okay, so smoother surface will have the less friction, and the rough surface will have the more friction. Okay. So static and kinetic friction. Friction force does not only depend on the nature of the surface in contact, it also depends on whether something is moving over a surface or it is stationary. Okay, so the frictional force, it doesn't only depend on the surface of the floor. Okay, so smooth surface or a rough surface, it also depends on the moving object, moving over a surface, or it is stationary, whether the object is stationary in position or moving over it. Okay, when a force is applied to move a body, frictional force resists the movement. When the force increases, the frictional force also increases. When you force very heavily, okay, so at that time whatever, the frictional force also increases until the force applied become greater than the frictional force. Just as the force applied becomes greater than the frictional force, the body starts moving. When the force is applied, the force you are applying, okay, so to by kicking the football, okay, I'm taking as a football, okay, that force should be greater than the frictional force. Okay, so if frictional force is greater than the force which you are applying, at that time the object will be in a static position, will not move. Okay, if the force which you are applying, okay, to move the object from one place to another, if that is greater than the frictional force which is opposing the object, okay, at that time only the object will move. If your force is greater than the frictional force, okay, the moving object force is greater than the frictional force, at that time only it moves. Now, when the force applied managed to get past this limit, frictional force loses heart and becomes weaker. Remember two things in the context. A body starts moving when the force applied is greater than the frictional force. An object will move only when the forces applied to the object should be greater than the frictional force. If the force which is applied to the object, if it is less than the frictional force, the object will not go from its place. Okay, then static friction, which acts as a body in stationary, is greater than kinetic friction, which acts when a body is moving. When a kinetic friction is which acts when a body is moving. When a body is moving, kinetic frictions are kinetic friction is applied. Okay, when friction is helpful, so life would be quite impossible without friction. You would not be able to work or instance. Okay, so friction is very helpful to us. Okay, so life, it is quite impossible without the friction. Okay, without the friction, because of the friction only you are walking. Okay, if there is no friction, you will be not able to walk. Okay, so it is the friction between the floor and the sole of your feet or shoes which allows you to walk comfortably. Without friction, you would slip much as you do on a newly polished floor, banana skin. Okay, so banana skin. Okay, so when you keep your feet on the banana skin, at that time what happens, the banana skin gets skidded. Okay, so that is slipped. Okay, and on the plain floor. Okay, most compared to the normal floor and tiles, if you take, you will slip on the tiles more often. Okay, compared to the normal floor. Okay, so this causes the friction. Okay, so if the friction is not there, at that time what happens, you will be not able to walk and you will slip. Often you will get slipped down. Okay, similarly, without friction between the tires and the road, vehicles would skid and they do something on wet roads. The brakes of the vehicle also work by friction. When the drivers press on the brake pedal, the brake shoes rub against a rough surface behind the wheels. This produces friction with slow down the wheels. Okay, the same way how the friction allows us to walk on the floor. Okay, so at that time what happens, the tire of the vehicles and the road also creates the friction. Okay, so in the rainy season what happens, the vehicles get skidded. Okay, it gets slipped down. Okay, because of the slipperiness of the road. Okay, because of the wetness of the road. Okay, not only that, when brakes. Okay, so when the drivers put a brake, at that time also the friction is applied. Okay, so that the tire gets slowed down. Okay, and it stops. Okay, at that position it brings in a static position. Okay, so forces applied to force can change the size and shape of an object. Force can speed up the object. Okay, force makes the object to move from static position. Okay, and force can change the direction of an object. Okay, so these are all the effects of forces. Then the force is applied when you're writing with a pencil. Okay, at that time what happens, your pencil and the paper gets frictional force. Okay, at that time the pencil lid gets rubbed along with your paper, and that time only the the writing comes out. Okay, so the blackings comes out from the lid. Okay, so when friction causes problems, so these are all the helpful nature of the force. Okay, helpful nature of the friction. So when does a friction causes problems? Okay, friction also causes problems, like friction makes surface wear down. The soles of your shoes get worn out due to friction. So the soles of your shoes, okay, gets toned out because of the friction only. That is the reason. Okay, while athletes wear the spiked shoes. Okay, their soles will be very much thicker compared to our normal shoes. Okay, athletes wear the shoes which is having a spiked one, so that they get lesser frictions. Okay, now so do various machine parts which rub against each other. You can see yourself how friction causes wearing down by rubbing an easier first over paper and then sandpaper. The sandpaper will wear down the easier much faster because it is rougher. Okay, so sandpaper will be getting wear down because it is very easier and much rough. Okay, compared to friction waste energy too. When you ride a bicycle, for example, you use energy to overcome the friction between the moving parts of the bicycle as well as the friction with the air. Okay, so friction, what happens, friction waste energy too. If the friction is more, then you have to pedal it bicycle very forcefully. Friction waste energy also. If example you can say, that is if wind is blowing from the other side, that is a frictional force, you can say, because it is opposing you and you are cycling from the other side. The force which is opposing you, that is a frictional force. Okay, when you are cycling at the heavy wind, at that time you have to use your more energy to pedal down the cycle. Okay, so the frictional force, if the frictional force is the frictional force is more, okay, at that time it uses energy. When you have to pedal it very very fast. Okay, so loses of energy. As you push your way through air, a friction force is called air resistance opposes your movement. The faster you move, the greater is the resistance, until a point when all energy is used to overcome this resistance. You cannot speed up beyond this point. Okay, so what happens, not only in a windy, I mean not only in a heavy wind, okay, in a normal position also, when you use energy, the speedy you pedal the cycle, okay, at that time the air opposes you. Okay, so that resistance creates in the air, so that opposes you, and because of that oppose only, if you have to go for, pedal it cycle, you have to pedal the cycle very fastly, because that is opposing you, that is pushing you to the backward and you are moving to the forward. Okay, the frictional force wastes energy also, you're giving your extreme energy to move forward. Another disadvantage of friction is that it generates heats. Okay, the friction generates heat also. So how it generates? When you rub your palm, okay, so when you rub your palm, that is a friction. Okay, so at that time what happens, when you rub your palm for a few seconds, no, you feel some hotness on your palm. Okay, so that proves that friction, generate heat also. When you strike a match, okay, so when you strike a matchstick with a match, okay, matchbox, at that time what happens, the ignite, okay, when you when the matchstick get ignited with the matchbox, okay, so strikes, okay, at that time what happens, it get lighten up, ignited, okay, so it get lighten up. Okay, so fire, okay, fire is produced, so that is the friction, that proves that friction causes heat. Okay, the heat generated by friction can damage machines, so coolant are used to bring down the temperature. The heat which has been generated, okay, so because of that damages many machinery products. Okay, because machine works on the friction only. If two things are rubbed together, okay, so that is the said to be in friction. Okay, so that produces heat, and that heat damages machines. So that is why the coolant are used. Okay, so reducing friction, since friction wastes energy, wears down machine parts and causes heating engines, always try to reduce friction. One way of reducing friction is to make the surface in contact with smooth by polish. Okay, so to reduce the friction of an object, at that time we have to use the smooth polished surface. Okay, if two things are rubbing together, that their surface should be smooth. Okay, smooth in texture, so that when it rubs with each other, when it gets fricted with each other, at that time friction happens, less friction should happen. Okay, because the more friction happens, at that time what will happen, that causes heat, and the heat damages it. Okay, so another way is oiling. Oiling also loosens. Okay, so oiling also makes friction very easy, very slippery. Okay, so that also causes, as I said, that when suppose you take some oil and drop it on the floor, okay, you will slip down. Okay, if you walk on the oil, okay, if you walk on the top of the oily floor, okay, what happens, you will slip. Okay, so that is also one example, that oil reduces the reduces the friction. Okay, so now oil reduces friction by oil cycling and sieving machine. It also prevents direct contact with the surface by forming a film between them. Another way of reducing friction is to use ball bearing or roller bearing. In some machines you have seen ball bearing are used in bicycle. Okay, so ball bearings are used in bicycle to reduce friction between the wheel and the axle. Okay, so wheel and axles are there, in between you will find small balls are there. When it moves very smoothly. Okay, so the rough surface are not used. Okay, so when it moves very smoothly, the smooth surface is used with a ball. Okay, so that time friction gets the reduction of friction happens. Okay, so and that causes less damages. Now this is why ball bearing which are free to roll are placed between moving parts of the machines. This is also why there are wheels under suitcase and TV trawlers. Okay, so TV trawlers, okay, trolley, have you seen the trolley? Below the trolley you will see some rolls, okay, some wheel type. Okay, so rolls are fixed, okay, so that it can move easily from one place to another, okay, with a lesser friction. Okay, and so not only that, like some suitcases will be having small wheels, okay, small rollers below that suitcase, okay, so that you can trawl, okay, so that you can drag that suitcase or a TV roller or any other roller, okay, very easily on the surface. Okay, so it it moves very easily, very smoothly on the surface because less frictions are produced. Okay, because of the smooth rollers. Okay, the roller makes things to move very smoothly on the surface. People must have noticed that placing locks under the sledge make it easier to push the sledge along. Then they must have made rough wheels out of locks and fixed them to their carts. Streamlining. Air and water also offer resistance to movement. Natural flyers and swimmers are designed to reduce the resistance. Okay, so air and water offer resistance for the movement. Okay, so when they move, the resistance are created. Okay, so the aquatic animals, okay, like fish, okay, when they swim, no, so that creates the resistance. And like you can say swimmers, like flyers like birds, okay, flyers like birds or any other things which flies, okay, insects, okay, which flies, okay, butterflies, they and swimmers, fish, okay, are designed to reduce they are completely, their body is designed in such a way that they can reduce the resistance of the air. Okay, that can overcome the resistance of the air and fly very easily and smoothly on the air or swim very easily on the water. Okay, so they have what is called streamlined body. They are having very streamlined body, like aeroplane. Aeroplane is having streamlined body so that it can fly very easily on the air. Okay, the streamlined body has smooth outlines. Streamlined bodies have smooth outlines. When such a body moves through water or air, it disturbs the natural flow of water or air as little as possible. This reduces the resistance often offered by air or water to its movement. Okay, when the streamlined body is made up of very smooth outline. When it starts moving on the air or water, it disturbs the water very less. It doesn't disturb. Okay, disturbs the water. It doesn't disturb the water or air. Okay, heavily. Okay, so that it can move, oppose the resistance, so that it can move very easily and fly or swim very easily in there. If it is in water, so it doesn't allow the water to doesn't allow water to get disturbed. Okay, so at that time the resistance are created, very less resistance will be created, and the moving object will move very smoothly on the water or on the air. Then increasing friction. In some situation it is an advantage to use to increase friction. In some situations we have some advantages to increase the frictional force. Okay, frictions. Okay, so like soles of our shoes are and the tires of vehicles example have grooves to increase friction. If they were smooth, they would be there would be a risk of slipping or skidding. Okay, so the tires, you have seen the tires of a vehicle which is having a groove. Okay, it is not smooth, like it is not plain. The tires are the surface of the tire is not made up of very plain, not it is not made up of a plain. Okay, so it is not made of plain. Okay, so it contains some grooves to hold the friction. Okay, so it can grooves, okay, which creates which increases the friction. Okay, which because of that increased friction, it doesn't skids. Okay, it doesn't slips. Okay, so not only that, the shoes, okay, the shoes what we wear, okay, that also have some grips at the at the downside of the shoes. Have you seen some grips will be there? Okay, some that grips creates the friction more, increases the friction more to be stable in one position, otherwise we would have slipped out. Okay, the pedals of a cycle, the steering wheel of a car, the handles of a knife. You could think of many examples where surfaces are made rough to increase friction. Okay, so the pedals of a cycle, the pedal is not made up of very smooth materials. It is made up of very rough materials which is having some rough surfaces. Okay, so that your leg doesn't get slipped from the pedal. Okay, so it increases the frictional force. Okay, then magnetic force. Things made of iron and attracted by a magnet. The force with which a magnet attracts such things is called magnetic forces. Magnetic force means the things which is getting attracted by the magnet. Okay, the magnet attracts the thing. The magnet attracts the metals. Okay, iron metals. Okay, so that kind of force are said to be as what? Magnetic forces. The things which is attracted by magnet are said to be as magnetic forces. Unlike muscular force and frictional force, magnetic force can act from distance. Okay, so it is not like that. Muscular force and frictional force, okay, frictional force always need two substances to rub in. Okay, so because of the two substances only the frictional force is created. Okay, and muscular force, you have to touch something, you have to give a pull or push. Okay, you are using your muscles to pull something or push something. Okay, that is a muscular force. But unlike frictional and the muscular force, here what happens in magnetic force, it does from the distance itself it is working. Okay, so without touching I cannot move this book from here to here. I cannot keep this book from here to here. Okay, so I have to touch it. Okay, but in the case of magnet, okay, from a distance itself it is attracting the iron. Okay, it is attracting the metal substance. Then electrostatic force. If you run a comb through your hair, okay, so after running your comb through your hair for a longer time, okay, for a very fast, okay, very fast and furiously, if you comb your hair, okay, immediately take that comb and bring near to the piece of papers. Okay, at that time what will you find? The piece of papers will be attracted towards the comb. Okay, so that type of forces are said to be as electrostatic force. This is another type of force that can act from a distance. Electrostatic force also acts from a distance only. Okay, so when you're combing your hair, immediately you're taking the comb and placing that comb on the bringing that comb on near the piece of papers. The piece of papers get attracted towards the comb. Okay, so it is acting from the distant. Okay, so this type of actions are said to be as electrostatic force. Then gravitational force, the most important and the most popular force. Okay, gravitational force. Because of the gravitational force only we are walking on the gravitational force acts downwards only. Okay, it suppresses us. Okay, so downwards. If there is no gravitational force in the world, what will happen? We would have floated. Okay, so floated on the air like the space. Okay, space doesn't have any gravitational force. If the scientists go to the space, they keep on floating on the floating. Okay, so gravitational force, because of the lack of gravitational force. But here the gravitational force is there, it is acting from the top, that is it is acting towards the down. Okay, towards the downside. You know that everything on or near the earth is attracted towards it by the force of gravity. The earth attracting us, the earth catching us. Okay, the earth is holding us. Okay, because of the gravitational force, because the gravitational force is acting towards the down, because of that the earth holding us, and because of that only we are standing on the earth. Okay, otherwise we would have floated. This is what makes a ball come down when you kick it up. Had there been no force of gravity, the ball would fly right away. The moon too pulls things near it with its own force of gravity, and so do all the other planets, the sun and all the stars. In fact, any two bodies in the universe attract each other by the force called gravitational force. If there are any two bodies which is getting attracted towards each other are said to be as gravitational force. Okay, this law is called Newton's law of gravitation, because Newton only invented the gravitational force in honor of Sir Isaac Newton. Okay, the full name of Newton is Sir Isaac Newton, the English physicist. Okay, and mathematician who discovered it. He only discovered the gravitational force. There is a story that when he was sitting under the apple tree, he saw that apple is falling down. Okay, so that time only he imagined why this apple is falling down, why this apple is not floating upwards. Okay, so this idea got struck in his mind, and he discovered the gravitational force, that is the earth is attracting towards, the apple is getting attracted towards the earth. Okay, that is said to be as gravitational force. When you may wonder why do not feel your school bus or your classmates attract you with the force of gravitation. The problem is that gravitational force depends on the masses of two bodies concerned. Okay, so the two bodies concentrated on depends the force of attraction. Okay, that is a gravitational force. Unless one of the body is very massive, it cannot be felt. This only explains why the earth's force of gravitation is much greater than that of the moon. Okay, so this is the reason. If one one object, one of the bodies should be very massive. Okay, so very big, very huge. Okay, it cannot be felt. Okay, so this also explains, this theory only explains that why earth earth is having more gravitational force compared to the moon. Okay, it is because the earth mass is much greater than that of moon. The earth's mass, okay, so the earth mass is much greater than the moon. Then gravitational field, when we drop a ball from a height, it is pulled down by the earth's gravitational force. Okay, so when you drop something from the top, it comes downward. Why it is not going upward? Because of the gravitational field, because of the gravitational force. Although the ball is not in touch with the earth, this means that the earth's gravitational pull can act at a distance, but like magnetic and electrostatic forces, just like so. This proves that when earth, okay, so the object is far away from the earth, okay, still we are throwing and it is coming down to the earth. Okay, why it is coming down? Okay, it's because of the gravitational force. Because of the gravitational force is acting downwards. Okay, so at that time what happens, the thing which is the thing which is throwing from the top, that will come to the ground side. Okay, that will come in contact with the earth. Okay, come in contact with the land. Okay, so this proves that gravitational force are like frictional like magnetic force and the electrostatic force. Okay, which is acting in from distance also it acts. Okay, from distance also it does work. They say that the mass of an object produces a gravitational field around the object. It is this field that exerts a gravitational force on all objects near and far. Okay, so wait, when you have already learned in your previous that weight of a body depends on its mass. Okay, so weight of a body is completely depend on the mass of a body, completely depends on the mass. Okay, the weight of a body is actually the force with which the earth attracts it. Okay, so the weight of a body is actually a force. Okay, that force attracted by the earth. Okay, so if the earth did not attract us, we would be weightless. Okay, so because the earth is attracting us, okay, because of the body weight. Okay, if the earth stops attracting, okay, at that time what happens, we would be weightless. Okay, we wouldn't have any weight, we'll be floating. Okay, so without any weight. Okay, even though we could still have the same mass that we have now. So whatever the mass we are having, whatever the weight we are having, it will be the same weight only when you float, but without the same mass we will have without the weight. Okay, so a spring balance is a device you can use to measure the weight of a body. Spring balance is a device which is used to measure the weight of a body. Okay, spring balance. Have you seen the spring balance? If you keep something on a spring, no, if you hold some here spring, no, that spring will come down and there will be a scale on the spring. Okay, that will show the weight. Okay, so how much you are weighing or how much your object is weighing. Okay, unit of force. Okay, what is the unit of force? There is a very close relation between the force of gravity acting on a mass of 100 gram and the SI unit of force called the Newton. SI unit of force is said to be as Newton and the symbol is N. The weight of 100 gram mass or the force gravity acting on it is 0.98 N. Okay, the weight of 100 gram of mass, okay, or the force of gravity which is acting, okay, that will be a 0.98. okay, the weight of a 1 kg mass will always be equal to the 9.8 N. okay, that is a SI unit. Okay, SI unit of force N. Then now pressure. Moving on towards the pressure, you may have heard word pressure. You have heard the word pressure, like used in conversation. Many conversations we use pressure, this pressure, that pressure, all pressures. Okay, so what exactly the word pressure means? What is the meaning of the exact meaning of the pressure? So here we'll do some easier, like we'll do some easier things. Okay, like cutting of an apple or cutting of a vegetable. Okay, you are using pressure. Okay, the knives is getting pressure to cut it down. Okay, you are punching a paper with pinching a paper with a needle. Okay, so that is a pressure. Okay, so pressure, we are applying pressure to hold. Okay, to hold it, to cut it. Okay, so that is a pressure. Why it is easier to pierce a sheet of papers with a sharp pin than in a blunt pin? Okay, so why it is easier? Why it is very much easier? If you take a sharp pin, okay, and if you if you pierce a paper, okay, so if you want to make a hole on paper with a sharp pin, it will make the sharp pin with the sharp pin it is more easier to pierce a paper, okay, comparatively to the blunt pin. When you apply pressure at that time, what happens? The pressure is getting applied at the point particularly, okay, when the pin is very sharp pointed. Okay, so at that particular point the pressure is getting acted forcefully. Okay, so and the blunt pin, what happens, the pressure gets divided in the sides of the blunt pin, okay, because it is not sharp, okay. So that is the reason very fastly and very easily, you can say very easily we can pierce the paper with a sharp pin compared to the blunt pin, okay. Suppose the area of the sharp pin is A. If the area of a sharp pin is A, the pin point, okay, the area of a sharp pin is said to be as A, if I am taking it as A, and that of a blunt pin is 10A. Blunt pin area I am taking as 10A, and the sharp pin area is denoted by A. The force you applied in contraction on the small area of the sharp pin, whereas it's get divided over the large area of the blunt tip, the force per unit area acting on the paper under the sharp pin is F by A, okay. So how the pressure, how you can measure the pressure? The formula of a pressure is force by area, force what you are applying by area, okay. So blunt pin, like as I took sharp pin area will be, the area of a sharp pin will be A and the area of a blunt pin will be 10A. Then pressure of an pressure of an sharp pin, how will you find out how much pressure you have applied on the sharp pin, okay. So at that time what will you do? F by A, okay, force, the force which you are applied divided by what? A, the area of a sharp pin, okay. While that area blunt pin is F by 10A, since F by A is 10 times greater than that of F by 10A. The sharp pin passes through the sheet of paper more easily. The quantity of FA or the force per unit is called pressure. The pressure can be calculated by the formula. So what is the formula? Force by area. The force what you are applying and the area, okay, area of that object, okay. So the SI unit of pressure is newtons per square meter. Newtons N by M square, you can say. Thus if a force of 10 N acts, okay, so 10 Newton acts on a area, if you are applying a force, okay, pressure is force by area, if you are applying a 10 N force, okay, so at that time you have to divide it by in an area of 1 meter square, that will be divided by N by 1 meter square, okay, 10 N by 1 meter square. Everyday example. So you know why the cutting edges of implements like blades, axes and knives are made sharp and why pins and needles have sharp points, okay. However, just as it is desirable to increase pressure in some situations, it is necessary to reduce it in others. Imagine what would happen if someone wears slitos tried to walk on the sand or snow, okay. So the weight of the whole body acting on a small area would give rise to a high pressure, making the foot sink into the sand or snow, okay. So slitos, if you are wearing a slitos, okay, so at snows, okay, so snows or in a desert area which gives a high pressure on that slitos. Example, you can take a high heels also, okay. So if you wear a high heels, you all the body weight is acting on that heels, okay, and that slitos, that particular high heels, okay. So at that time what happens, it goes it's suppressed, okay, so it goes down, okay, the slits will go down, okay. So the more pressure is acting on that particular point only, okay. Sometimes it is used to reduce, okay, sometimes it is the pressure the pressure should be reduced, okay, for our easiness, for our easy movement, okay. So if you wear a very shoes which is not a slit, which is not high pointed, okay, so if you wear, the pressure gets divided across, okay, so divided across and you can walk very smoothly on any you can walk very smoothly, okay. Similarly, the fact that camels have large feet help them walk over sand. Can you guess why it hurts? Why it hurts to walk over stones or gravels, and why potters place a roll of cloth on their heads? Okay, so have you potters? Okay, why it hurts when you walk over very in a rough surface like stones or gravels, because it is pinching. Okay, because the pressure, heavy pressure, okay, so because of the pointed tips of the stones or a gravels, okay, creates pressure, okay, so that hurts us when we walk, okay. When we walk, the pressure is created more at that tip only. When we walk on a smooth, plain surface, that much hurt we don't get, okay. When you walk on a high pointed surface, okay, at that time pressure is created more, okay, so what happens, that hurts us, okay. Or you can, when you wear a very high heeled slippers, okay, in a in hill areas, on a hill of a shoes, okay, in a hill of a hill of a shoes or a hill of a slipper, okay, in that area more pressure is created. Because of the heavy pressure, you get hurt, okay. If you wear a very even surfaced, okay, shoes, okay, so it doesn't have any heel at a particular point, okay, so it doesn't create much pressure because pressure is getting divided across through all over the shoes, okay. So now, pressure exerted by liquid, okay, so you have read that the weight of a body is the force with which earth attracts it. A liquid too has mass and is attracted by the force of gravity. The liquid also is having a mass which is attracted by the gravity, okay. So this weight of force acts downward on the base of container which holds the liquid. So the pressure exerted on the base of a container is the weight of the liquid divided by the area of the base, okay. So the pressure which is exerted, okay, by the liquid, okay, so that is divided on the base, okay. Suppose example, you can take like take water bottle, okay, so after taking water bottle, you fill it up, okay, so filling up, what happens at the base, okay, at the base, you from the top of the bottle to the end of the bottle, you you hold the bottle with a pin, okay, so with a pin. At that time, after filling up, what will you see? The hole which is present at the lower level of the bottle will have lots of pressure compared to the higher level of the hole, higher level of the bottle hole, okay. So through the lower level only the jets, okay, the jets of water from the lowest hole travels fastest, okay. So the jets of water which is coming out from the bottle, okay, will be higher comparatively to the upper holes, okay. The jets of water will be lesser, okay, lesser on the top of the on the upper side of the bottle comparatively to the lower, because pressure is created at the top, at the lower, at the low only, okay. So at the low one, which, and not only that, when you see, when you hold the bottle, when you make a many holes on the same position, at that time the pressure is equal through all the holes, the equal amount of water will come out, okay. The jet of water will be equal, okay, equally it will exerted, equally it will come out, okay. So if you could imagine that the bottle has false base at the 4 levels A, B, C, and you could realize that the weight of a water acting on the base is much less than acting on a base B, okay. So and so on. If you are making a hole on the water bottle from A, B, C, D, you will get the pressure on the top, at the bottom only, okay. So not at the not in the first hole, not in the A level hole, okay. So the more pressure will be exerted on the bottom because the pressure is created at bottom only, at the base, okay. Now, the two things you need to remember about the pressure, the two things which is very important to remember, that is pressure exerted by a liquid increase with depth, okay. The deeper you go, the pressure will increase, okay. So how you feel like when you swim, okay. So if you swim underneath of water, okay. So if you start if you go deeper under the water, you will feel the pressure of the water more. If you float over the water on the first layer of the water, if you don't feel that much of pressure, okay. So that shows us that if you go deep inside, okay, so at that time only pressure increases. A liquid exerts the same pressure in all direction at given path, okay. So the liquid will be exerted in a given path, in a same depth. The pressure of the liquid will be same in all directions, okay. Measuring liquid pressure, manometer is used to measure the pressure of a liquid, okay, is an instrument used to measure pressure differences, okay. So this is the instrument. Manometer is an instrument used to measure the difference of a pressure. Then atmospheric pressure, the pressure which is created on our atmosphere, that is said to be an atmospheric pressure. Surroundings of, we know that we are having a blanket of air, okay. Our surrounding is full of air, okay. So the air has mass and is attracted by the force of gravity. The air also has mass, okay, and which is attracted by the force of gravity. Like other things attracted by the gravity, air also has mass and it is also attracted by the gravity, okay, towards down, okay. So does the sand not exert pressure? Yes, it does, as the following activity will show you, okay. So yes, the air also, why we are not feeling, I mean if the air is, I mean, creating pressure on us, okay, why we are not feeling, why we are feeling so light to move on the air? Because our body pressure and the atmospheric pressure is, I mean, equal, okay. So it is equal, no one, our body pressure imbalances out, the pressure is balanced, I mean balanced, the pressure which we are having, the pressure which our body have and the pressure which is present on the atmosphere, it is similar, it is equal. That's why we can, we doesn't feel much pressure of the air, okay. So now why does the can get crushed, okay? So that why the can, okay, so can is getting crushed down, okay, because the steam from the boiling water drives the air out of it, okay. So example, one activity I will show, okay. So a can, okay, full of hot water, okay, a can is full of hot water, or taking a hot water and keeping the can for a taking a water on a can and keeping it for boiling, okay. So at that time what happens, after taking the hot water can, if you keep, I mean, under the tap water, at that time what will you feel? The pressure exerted by outside, the pressure which is going out, no, at that time the, I mean, can will get crushed, okay. It will get, I mean, it will not be in a even position, it will be getting in a rough position, that is crushed, it got crushed, okay, because of the pressure only. Now we can say this makes the balloon increase in size or a volume, okay. So because of the pressure only, balloon is getting increased, okay. So when you blow the balloon with air, at that time what happens, pressure is, I mean pressure, the air is going inside, okay. So that's why balloon is getting increased. Suppose the balloon reaches, okay, so after, I mean after the balloon stops, if the pressure becomes more inside the balloon gets starts bursting, okay, it gets burst, okay. So it cannot meet the, I mean, pressure of an outside inner pressure will be more comparatively to the outside pressure, that's why it get burst, okay. So try pushing an empty glass in a bucket of water. Do you feel a resistance? It is the pressure exerted by the air trapped inside the glass. Empty glass, okay, it will be empty glass. When you take an empty glass and try it to push in a bucket of water, okay, so pushing it a bucket of water, at that time what will you feel? A resistance is created, okay. So you will feel a resistance, that means opposing something. It will be not easy to, I mean, push the, I mean, empty glass on the inside the water, okay. Resistance will be created. It is a pressure exerted by the air trapped inside the glass, okay. So the glass which is having, I mean, in an empty glass, whatever the air is present, so that creates a resistance, okay, that creates the pressure, okay, which is trapped inside the okay, which is there in the I mean glass, okay. So here ends your chapter, and if you have any doubt regarding this chapter, you can contact me at night. Thank you.